Hello, Nina. A very,
Hello,
a very good evening. So, how are you doing today?
I am great. Actually, here in Europe, it's right after lunch.
Mhm.
So I'm doing great. It's Monday, and I already started teaching and consulting, and now getting ready for our interview.
Great to know, great to know. So, before starting anything, I just want to offer you a warm welcome from the bottom of my heart and soul, Nina.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this conversation. I am very excited to talk about learning and teaching English today.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And before starting anything, I just want to highlight over here, just for my audience, it's been more than 6 and 7 weeks, Nina. And after 5 to 6 weeks, I'm having this conversation with you because of my teacher training program. So I just want to highlight over there, just yes, after a long time, I'm planning again to upload my videos on my YouTube channel.
Go for it. They are wonderful. I looked at your YouTube channel and I would like to encourage everybody to check it out because you do so many interesting interviews and your own videos where you help people learn English effectively. So everybody check out Renu's YouTube channel, please.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your kind words, Nina. So before starting anything, I had visited your profile. So somewhere I'm aware of your profile and your profession as well. So just for my audience, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Of course, that's important, yeah, because then they will know where
Yeah.
I'm coming from,
Yes.
what background I am talking about, yeah.
Yes.
So I have been in ELT, English language teaching, for 20 years. This year I am
Wow.
celebrating 20 years since I started as an English teaching freelancer, yeah, always been a freelancer.
Mhm.
And so I have been teaching English to everyone
Mhm.
in my life so far,
Mhm.
but both adults and kids. But at the moment, I focus on adults only. I work mainly with women. We'll talk
Mhm.
about that
Yes.
today a little bit more, yeah.
Yes.
And I also mentor other ELT freelancers
Mhm.
who don't know so much about
Yeah.
freelancing and running their own business.
Yes.
So I help them with that.
Great, great. First of all, I want to congratulate you that 20 years, 20
Yeah,
years. Oh,
yeah.
so it's a great journey, isn't it?
It is beautiful. How many years have you been teaching English?
It's been, I think, more than 2 years.
Wow.
Only
So
two
you have this
years?
beautiful journey in front of you.
Yes.
It is the best job ever. I know a lot of people
Mhm.
who went into English language teaching after being engineers or in IT or from different professions, and they
Mhm.
love it and they never want to go back to their original
True.
professions because
It's
it's
true.
just such a nice job. You get to meet so many different and
Yes.
such interesting people because people
Yes.
who want to learn English are
Mhm.
usually very interesting, yeah, because they need it either for their work or for
Yes.
traveling. So they're
True.
not somebody who is just sitting at home doing nothing. They're really interested
Mhm.
in what's going on in the world. So it's a great
True.
job. I
It's
recommend
true.
it to everybody, and I love to support everyone to get into it.
Yes. And I'm thinking I'm going to learn a lot of things from your end, Nina, because you are a seasoned one when it comes to overall journey as a tutor. So I would like to mention over here just I used to work as a teacher before my marriage. However, after my marriage, I have taken 15 years of sabbatical, and again I restarted my journey in this field.
So you are back. You know why? Because it's a nice job, yeah.
Yes,
And we
yes,
get to help people not just to learn English. It's not really just about learning the
yes.
grammar and the vocabulary. It's
Mhm.
about so much more, isn't it? It's about
True.
communication and building your self-confidence, basically, because when you are faced with a situation where you have to speak
Yes.
another language,
Hmm.
it can be very intimidating.
True.
And there has to be a lot of, yeah, just mindset work, I would say, with
True.
the students when we speak about adults, yeah, because they get really
It is.
stressed, especially women, especially women. That's why I
Yes.
love supporting women.
So actually, I got fascinated by this term only when I visited your profile. I found, okay, empowering women. So I'm going to
Yes,
invite Nina and we will talk about it because, yes, it is important, Nina. So first question is related to that one only. What do you feel that this language really can empower a woman?
yes, and I just love to speak about that. That's my
Please.
favorite topic. We just celebrated International Women's Day, yeah,
Yes.
so it's everywhere. Power to the women, and I'm so happy to see that finally in the 21st century
Yeah.
we are getting to well, we are getting there, not
Yes.
always there, but we're getting to equal pay,
Mhm.
equal,
Yes.
chances, all of that,
Yes.
depending on where you live, of course, but it's getting
True.
better. And of course, with this comes a lot of responsibility. So, anywhere from a low management up, women actually need to communicate in English in most cases.
Yes.
And they are, as I said, intimidated, embarrassed, and very often there is this
Mhm.
deep-seated fear
Mhm.
that they are not going to be respected, they're going to be judged
Yes.
because they are making mistakes and maybe they are not fluent enough or maybe they misunderstood something. And
Yes.
so I think that's why it's so much more teaching English these days. It's so much more
Mhm.
about the mindset and helping the women
Mhm.
build their self-confidence rather than anything else. Of course, the language is important. The language empowers you.
Mhm.
Knowing more words, of course,
Yes.
empowers you. Knowing how to construct past perfect or
Yes.
present perfect or conditional sentences correctly,
Mhm.
so you don't sound like, oh, how do I, yeah, like fluently.
Yes.
Of course, that empowers you. But even if you make mistakes, and even if you don't know all the vocabulary, even if you misunderstand sometimes,
Mhm.
you can always ask. You can always make the people around you feel like it's okay that you
Yes.
are not perfect in English. And there are ways, there are techniques, there are tools how to do that. And that's what I talk about a lot with my clients because, um, as I said, it's really deep inside. And
Yes.
sometimes I'm sure a lot of other English teachers will recognize this. Sometimes we are more like therapists or psychologists. Yeah,
Very
we
true.
are. We are the cheerleaders of our students, and we
Yes.
just, yeah, build them up with
Yes.
motivating them and
Yes.
with encouraging them, unlike the teachers in schools when
Mhm.
they were children. And
Yes.
as we know, all the difficult situations that we encounter in life. I don't really want to say trauma, I don't think it's that big, but
Mhm.
something like that. They are rooted in our childhood, in the
Yes.
family, in the school, in the group of friends, whatever happened to us,
Mhm.
we have it inside. So we very often have to uncover that, yeah, what
Yes.
happened. So we start with every conversation starts with what is your language learning journey? What
Yes.
happened before you called me, before you contacted me? And we
Mhm.
start right there. And also, very, very interesting information that you can get for the future cooperation with the client is, why did you call me now? what happened now? What happened
Yes.
yesterday or last week? And
Mm-hmm.
you get the why, and we can talk about it a little bit more in a minute.
Yes.
You
Please.
get the motivation why
Yeah.
they are in the moment that they contacted you.
Yes.
What is it that they are really striving for? And it's like, they're really hungry for it because otherwise they wouldn't
Yes.
contact a personal teacher, a private teacher. So it's usually very, very deep. And when I speak with women,
Mm-hmm.
we start talking about so many more things than just communication and just the language. We start discussing the job, the work situation, the
Mm-hmm.
family situation, because we need to
Yes.
talk about time management. We women are often mothers, or even if we are not mothers, we are caretakers, right?
Yes.
And
True.
we often nurture our surroundings, and we are the last person that,
Very
you
true.
know, yeah, so we talk about that, how to set time aside for you
Yes.
when you could create these moments of learning English in a natural way. Yeah, so it's a process. We can talk about it more if you
Yes,
want.
yes, why not? Why not? And first, just I want to mention over here, without trial and error, we are not going to learn anything. It's not all about to develop this communication skill. It's not all about this particular thing. Everything, whatever is new to you, it takes
Yeah.
time. And you
Yeah,
are going to make a mistake for sure. No one is perfect, isn't it? So why are this
impossible. It's
impossible?
impossible not to make mistakes. It's just like when the baby is learning to walk. They will
True.
fall so many times,
So
and
many
we
times.
don't judge them. We
Yeah.
don't judge them. We know it's a process. Why do we think that other people are
Yes.
judging us when we are trying? I always tell my ladies
Mm-hmm.
that maybe they are just making assumptions, and very
Yes.
often it is so that
Mm-hmm.
they are making assumptions that other people are judging us. And I
Yes.
use a little bit of psychology in that
Mm-hmm.
situation. I always say, isn't it because you judge other people? First, look at how you think of other people when they
True.
speak English. Are you judging them? Because if you are, then it's complete and it's fine. It's normal.
Yes.
I'm not
It's
judging
normal.
you for judging them, but that's where your
Mm-hmm.
feelings come from.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're used to judging their English, then you think that other people do it too. But it might not be the case at all,
Yes.
especially with native speakers. Native speakers don't care. They don't care. They
Yeah.
are just so happy that you are able to communicate with them in their language and not using yours, so that
Yes.
they don't need an interpreter, or they don't need to learn your language. So that it's just in our head.
It's
Yeah.
very true, I would say, Nina. And I
Yeah.
just want to say that it is your goal that you want to develop this language skill,
Yeah.
isn't it? So rather than overstating the same thing again and again, okay, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not going to speak in front of somebody. Maybe he or she will judge my speaking. Rather than focusing that part, just focus on your goal that you want to learn this language, isn't it? And focus on that part only, that how to do
Yes.
this. It's very
Yes.
simple.
Yes. Yes. It sounds simple,
Yeah.
but the process to it is not so easy for
Yes.
those of us
Mhm.
who are, just like I said before, who are often used to being criticized. Maybe not now, but
Yes.
in the past.
Mhm.
Maybe in your previous job.
Yes.
Maybe you were surrounded by, even it doesn't have to be a job. It can be
Yes.
a so. very often people learn English because of the social status, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be, for example, a situation when you went out with your partner
Mm-hmm.
and their business partners or
Yes.
their international friends, and you were sitting there in the corner being really, really shy and
Yes.
feeling like they are looking at you like, why are you not speaking? Why are you not
Mm-hmm.
expressing yourself? And then you say something and maybe somebody laughs and you think that they were
Yeah.
laughing at your grammar. So it's like everything that happened in the past
Yes.
comes into play. So yes, it sounds simple, but it's not so easy sometimes. Yeah.
Yes. It's not
Yeah.
easy. The process is not so easy, Nina.
Yeah.
However, the thing is that just we need to calm down our mind in that
That's it.
particular situation. It gives
That's it.
you a strong strength, I would say, to combat this fear, actually, isn't it? That
Yes.
is. And yeah, it is challenging to deal with this kind of situation, I would say.
I am a big fan of fake it until you make it. I am a big fan of affirming to yourself that
Yes.
you are already there, even though you're not there in reality yet, but in your mind, you believe that you are already speaking good English. And just
Yes.
that thought changes everything. I know it's hard to
Yes.
believe in it before you
True.
see it,
True.
but unless you believe it, you will never see it. Yeah. So first, please start believing that your English is already good enough.
Yes.
I always say to my clients, in the first lesson before they
Uh-huh.
leave the
Uh-huh.
first lesson, because they're usually very negative in the first
Yes.
lesson. My English is terrible. Yeah, we've all heard it. All English teachers have that
Absolutely.
experience all around the world. Doesn't matter what nationality, where you come from. I am so sorry for my English. Everybody
Uh-huh.
apologizing for their mistakes.
Yes.
My English is horrible. And I always say, stop. No, stop it. This is your
Yes.
last time that in front of me you say, I am sorry for my mistakes. You are not allowed to apologize
Yes.
for mistakes. I always tell my
Wow.
students just for fun. I tell them, what if you say sorry, you
Uh-huh.
owe me a drink, like a drink. Yeah, sometimes I teach online, so I can't meet the students in person, but you owe me a drink. And then they make fun, like, oh, I owe you like 5 glasses of wine or something like that. I know I need to stop saying sorry. And then another one, I want them to repeat the mantra, my English is great. And
Yes.
it is really their task after the first lesson, whatever they are going to do now, maybe they're going to walk out of my classroom
Uh-huh.
or they're going to go for lunch in their lunch break or something. Right after the lesson, they always have at least 5, 10 minutes. Please repeat, my English is great. Fake it
Yes.
until you make it. And just that is so magical that next time I speak with the student, changed person.
Wow. Wow. I should
Sometimes
clap
it's a
for
bit
this.
slower. Sometimes it's a bit slower, but it works in the end with everyone. Usually, with people who are more open-minded, who are willing to be more vulnerable,
Uh-huh.
and who are now in the state of mind that it's okay to make mistakes. It's much faster with these people. When
Yes.
there is a lot of ego playing games
Yes.
with us, it takes longer. But I
Yeah,
managed to
for
break
sure.
everyone eventually.
For sure, Nina. Thank you so, so, so much for your smile. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for this positivity, for creating this positive environment. I'm really enjoying this
Me
conversation.
too. Me too. Back at
Thank,
you. Right back
yes.
at you. Yes.
So, Nina, let's talk about again related to women that
Yeah.
it's very true sometimes a woman has financial constraints even though they want to learn, isn't it? So, without hiring a tutor, is it possible to start this journey? Please let me
Oh,
know.
absolutely. Of course. It's just like telling, look at children. For
Mhm.
example, my daughter, okay, she's
Yes.
14 years old.
Okay.
And okay, yes, she has lessons at school, but I don't think she learns so much as
Mhm.
at school. She learns mostly by herself, by
Mhm.
doing things that she loves. And
Yes.
I love to see this happening
Mhm.
after all these years that I have been doing this with my clients. I
Mhm.
don't really teach her how to do it. She just sees what I do with
Mhm.
students because sometimes we talk about it, I think. And it's just so natural for her. And she doesn't have a tutor, she doesn't have a teacher, a private teacher,
Okay.
and she speaks fluent English.
Mhm.
Fluent English. So, ladies, it's absolutely doable. It is so easy these days,
Yeah.
so much easier than 20 years ago, 30, 50 years ago. I remember when I was learning English outside of school as a teenager, all we had, like, we didn't have internet. We couldn't look
Yes.
up all the lyrics. We didn't have Netflix. Everything on our TV was just in our language and
Yes.
dubbed. We didn't have subtitles. We were, I'm from a post-communistic country. So when I was
Mhm.
growing up, we weren't even allowed to listen to much Western, like American and English music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all from like Eastern Europe and
Yes.
Russian and all of that, so, or our music. So
Mhm.
nowadays, everyone has access through their
Yes.
phone or their tablet or their PC
Yes.
to the whole world. So there are so many resources, and you just need to be a little bit creative
Mhm.
and start with where you are. That's
Mhm.
very important,
Mhm.
and go from there.
Mhm.
So, first of all, I would definitely journaling is another very good technique that you can
Yes.
use for
Mhm.
figuring things out that are not okay right now, and maybe
Yes.
writing things down, just
Mhm.
like your affirmations. You
Yes.
can also start writing down, why is it? This is what I asked my students in the first lesson. Why,
Mhm.
or even before in the discovery call. Why is it? Why is it? Why? And I say the why on
Yes.
purpose this many times because we go deeper and deeper and deeper because they say, I want better English. Why? I don't know, because I want to talk to people. Why? Uh,
Yes.
and then we go deeper. So we go
Mhm.
into who it is they want to speak with, because they say, usually people say, oh, with other people, but who is it for you, other people? For some people it's their colleagues in an international company, and for another person it's I don't know, a hotel receptionist when they
Mhm.
travel, and people in a restaurant when they're on their holiday, and all of that means people. So we
Yes.
specify who these people are, so definitely specify why you want to improve your English, to speak with whom, to be able to understand whom.
Yes.
Do you need to be able to understand, I don't know, British sitcoms, which are super fast with double meaning jokes, and
Mhm.
maybe you don't know the cultural background, so you will never understand
Yes.
everything.
Mhm.
Same with, for example, friends. People think that friends are easy to understand. No, because they have so many cultural references
Mhm.
about American culture specific for the 1990s as well. Yeah, so it's not so easy. They're using so many idioms, phrasal, slang. So make sure that you write down exactly what it is that you want to be able to do short term, which is
Yes.
within half a year. That's your life that you can see very easily, like what's going to happen within 6 months. And then long term, what is your big dream? When you close your
Yes.
eyes, I always let people close their eyes, like, please close your eyes. And we take deep breaths. Yeah, we
Mhm.
do a bit of breath
Yes.
work to calm our mind. And then we talk about the big dreams. what is it that you really want to do? Do you want to be able to present your ideas in front of a room full of people at a conference? Or do you just want to be able to make an international friend in your city and go for coffee sometimes so
Yes.
that you expand your horizons and make a new girlfriend, for example? So write that down. And the same comes for, of course, the passive skills, reading and understanding, yeah, watching
Yes.
things. What is it that you want to be able to understand? Some people want to understand political discussions, but that's, excuse me, bloody difficult, yeah,
Yes.
peep.
Yes. Wow.
And
Yes.
some people want to just watch reality TV. Some people want to be able to understand, I don't know, some motivational talks or TEDx,
Yes.
TED speeches, TED presentations.
Mm-hmm.
All of it has different types of language, different registers. So first, make clear for yourself, uh, or if you are working with a teacher, but we mentioned, yeah, no costs, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
for yourself, what it is that you actually want to accomplish, and go from there. Then you can see what you can start doing in
Mm-hmm.
order to be able to improve your skills. Yeah. And they can be just like I said, somebody wants to be able to speak better, somebody wants to improve their grammar, somebody
Yes.
wants to pass an exam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So make sure that, in the 21st century, we don't all have to go to these language courses with the same course book, and it talks about things and we do exercises we don't like so much because they're not about our life.
Mm-hmm.
Have a look at what you love to do in your life in your own
Yes.
language, and then just start doing it in English. So
Yes.
that's the first conversation I always have with my students. What is it that you love doing in your language? What do you love to speak about? What do you love to watch? What do you like to Where do you like to travel? All of these hobbies and
Yes.
passions, start doing them in English. Do you like to listen to music? You like pop music? Okay, start listening to more English music. Do you like true crime documentaries? Start watching them in English. Do you
Yes.
like podcasts about sugar-free diet?
Mm-hmm.
Start listening in English. And maybe at the beginning you will not understand everything, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are so many resources. There are apps, there are free apps or very
True.
low cost apps. If if I didn't have money and I wanted to learn English,
Mm-hmm.
I would still spend a little bit, because these apps, they are not expensive. Even
Yes.
the monthly or yearly or half a year
Mm-hmm.
um, subscription, it's
Mm-hmm.
not so expensive and it can teach you so much. So once again, just make sure that you know why you're doing it. So we only have one life here on this planet at the moment, right now. So
Yeah.
make sure that you use your time wisely.
Wow, great.
And
So,
of course, sorry, I didn't mention offline
please.
activities. This was all online, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or on your own. But offline, there are many options as well. We live in a globalized world.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't live in a village, and even if in villages, I hear it all the time, there are so many foreigners everywhere. The borders opened all
Mm-hmm.
over the world in the
Mm-hmm.
21st century. So we have so many foreigners around,
Mm-hmm.
and we can also go to every bigger city, at least in my country, and I heard in many countries around the world, there are language meetups, there are expat
Yes.
meetups, there are community centers where maybe there are free classes of English, yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
a student wants to practice how to teach, or there are groups of people who learn
Yes.
together, yeah, community of
Yes.
practice. And there are so many options that
True.
you can look into. So you need to do a little bit of research online. You need to
Yes.
do a bit of Googling, and there are so many places online on teacher websites and teacher blogs
Mm-hmm.
where we all try to help English learners with tips, what to do, where to go online and offline. So just do a bit of Googling.
Yes. Very true,
Yeah.
Nina. And I feel we are so blessed to have this technology in our life, isn't it? What we
Yes.
need to do, just as you mentioned, just try to identify your why,
Yeah.
do little bit research, and explore the world. Everything is possible here, isn't it?
Yes, and our phones. This is like a blessing for
Mhm.
learners of English. I do everything in English on my phone. I listen to podcasts, I listen to music, I
Yes,
use all these apps, yeah,
yes.
for practicing English as
Mhm.
well, and it's amazing. So
Yes,
just like I said, when I compare it with my childhood, when I was listening to cassettes, tapes,
yes.
uh, and I was trying to catch the words of the song, the lyrics, and we were always trying to figure out with my friends, what is he singing? What is this band singing? I want to understand. And it was like
Mhm.
faster music we couldn't understand. And nowadays everything is online, so so much easier. And there are so many places where you can really learn how to pronounce.
Yes,
Pronunciation is a very, very important thing, yeah. So you can learn how to pronounce, how to sound like
yes.
please, you don't ever have to sound completely native. Please
True.
keep your
Thank you so much for
accent.
mentioning.
This is healthy. You don't have to sound like some actor or actress from Hollywood. You need
Yes,
to sound like you. Please keep your beautiful accent from wherever you are. It makes
yes,
you sound interesting. I don't
yes,
want you to sound like an American or British. It always feels a little bit strange, yeah, to me. So keep your accent, but make sure that you pronounce the words correctly. And that's nowadays there are so many apps that you can use. And even if you don't use apps,
Mhm.
try to shadow people. Watch a Netflix movie or TV series and
Mhm.
use the shadowing technique, which is
Yes.
repeating
Mhm.
either in your head, if somebody's watching with you, do you want to, like say
Yes.
things in front of your husband or kids at home or
Yes.
your friend. So repeat in your head. And if you're home alone or if you're somewhere alone or just with your AirPods, just repeat. Repeat after your
Yes.
favorite character in the movie and not for
Yes.
5 minutes. Do it for 30 seconds. Just give it
Yes.
a try. And by repeating, I don't mean reading subtitles,
Mhm.
but trying to watch without subtitles and trying to repeat what they're saying, but not immediately. Yeah, maybe after
Yeah.
half an hour that you got used to the characters' speech and who they are, and maybe find somebody who's similar to you. If you're a stay-at-home mom, for example, why don't you watch a movie or TV series like I don't know, Desperate Housewives, something like that. Yeah, just giving an example
Yeah.
where there are similar characters who are saying similar things to you, and you can have a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, I
Yes.
like to use that technique. I think
And
it's great.
yes, and I was about to say the most beautiful thing you mentioned. Before starting your journey, it is very, very important to understand your area of interest, isn't it? As you highlighted.
Yeah.
And then try to watch the same video. If you're a
Yes,
person who likes listen to a particular music, just play it, listen to it, isn't it? Just to find
yeah,
out the area of interest and accordingly practice it.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
believe.
make sure that first you relax into it. Yeah, sorry, I
Yes.
interrupted you. You
No, no,
wanted to
no.
say
I was about to finish. Yeah, please.
just wanted to say that we can't learn if we are stressed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know that better than anyone. Uh, Please think of situations now when you are stressed. Imagine that you need to start learning something. It's
Yes. Yes.
almost impossible. So, it's just like with children at school. When we
Mm-hmm.
don't create a healthy, friendly, welcoming environment, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be afraid and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be so stressed and they're going to fail their tests because
True.
they don't trust you. They don't, all of that. So we need to relax as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, um, we women, we're two women talking about this. We go through a monthly cycle, yeah? And
True.
we are different in different phases of the
Yes.
cycle.
Yes.
I speak and express myself better if
Mm-hmm.
I am not on my period. It just like that. It is that, yeah?
Completely agree. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we need to start talking about this now, yeah,
True.
because women feel so guilty that they
Yes.
can't do something in different phases of their cycle, but it's completely natural that they
Natural.
can't. So they need to, like, we need to accept ourselves
Yes.
fully as we are and just give ourselves a bit of grace.
Yes.
Yeah, we are doing our best
Yes.
at the moment, and if we're not, we know that we're not.
Yes. Yes.
So just relax into it. The goal should not be actually that I managed to do something like
Yes.
tangible. I think the goal should be I will fall in love with this. I
Oh,
will
wow.
fall in love with the learning process. I will fall in love with learning English. I
Yes.
will fall in love with the language and with speaking it and
Mm-hmm.
using it. And this is the best moment with my students that I always experience
Mm-hmm.
when they say, Nina, finally, I feel like I am in love with it because they all come with, I hate it. I am
Yes.
afraid of it. I feel so embarrassed. And I have
Yes.
all these negative feelings and doubts in
True.
my mind. And then the breakthrough moment
Yeah.
happens. And you don't need a teacher for that. You don't need me for that. You don't need Renu for that. You don't
Yes.
need a coach. You need to look inside and
Yes.
work with what you have inside and believe in yourself, please.
Yes. It is
You are
important.
capable of so much more than you think.
You are the creator of your life, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. Exactly. That's
Just
it. We should
embrace
work.
it. Embrace the process so gracefully and enjoy the entire process, isn't it? So I
Yeah.
really want to continue with you, but we are running out of time, Nina. Surely we will continue, and I would like to invite you again for this beautiful conversation. Still, I have two, three questions, and we will continue for the same.
I am happy to answer them anytime.
Yes, skills, and I want to cover that it related to grammar vocab because it is really sometimes it bothers a lot to everyone, isn't it? That how to start grammar, vocabs, and techniques structuring. So we can go with it, Lina.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody
Mhm,
thinks
mhm.
before they start this process of learning more naturally, because it was engraved in us in schools, I think everybody thinks that it's about grammar and vocabulary,
Mhm.
and it really isn't.
Yes.
Uh, so when we start the learning process, we
Mhm.
think that we should go into the study mode, the heavy study mode of all the
Yes.
tenses and
Yes.
all the prepositional phrases and all of it in grammar. And when it comes to vocabulary, same thing. We think that we cannot start speaking to other
True.
people because we don't have this vast vocabulary at C1 or C2 level,
It is
so
a
nobody
huge
will.
pressure on us as a
Yes,
learner. It's a huge pressure.
so much pressure, yeah. And very often people have that idea in their mind
Mhm,
and they get stuck in life.
mhm,
Like, seriously, like that. They get stuck in life because of that one idea. But don't we get stuck on
mhm.
so many ideas that we think something is like this, but it's
Yes.
not really? So, with grammar and vocabulary,
Mhm,
people think that they need to work on that first
mhm,
before they're actually able to get that job or go
mhm,
abroad or speak to that person.
mhm,
It's so wrong. They should start the other way around. That's why I am such a big fan
mhm,
of Dogme ELT,
mhm,
which is a methodology started by Scott Thornbury about 20 years ago.
Okay.
He believed that we already know everything we need,
Mm-hmm.
and we bring that to class, and the teacher just uncovers
Mm-hmm.
what we need and
Mm-hmm.
improves. Of course, we don't like consciously know it. Yeah, here
Yes.
is a little bit of the spiritual thing again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know we know it. I
Yes.
think it's the best way to describe it. But the teacher's role in that way is to uncover what is inside, and there is always more than we think. So, the
Yes.
way I work with grammar and vocabulary is that I start having conversations
Mm-hmm.
with students,
Mm-hmm.
and I can hear what they need, and we build on that. We
Mm-hmm.
never start from the beginning. Why would you start from the beginning? Even if
Yes.
it's like more advanced. Okay, let's start with grammar today. No,
Mm-hmm.
let's start with natural conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear what you are able to say, and
Mm-hmm.
I can show you, I can tell you, but I can also coach you to figure it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just write down your
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses, where your
Yes.
gaps are. But
Yes.
we need to start with the strengths, of course. What is, because we want to start positively. What is it that you can already do? That's why
Yes.
it's good to have some test at the beginning, um, from grammar and vocab as well, apart from your natural conversation. We put it all together, and
Yes.
then we know what it is that we can actually do. And now we see the gaps, and
Mm-hmm.
then we can build up on it. When we
Mm-hmm.
specify what we need, we can go to an exercise book. We can go online, all these online exercises. We can practice with a conversation partner. We can practice when we have a teacher, of
Yes.
course. We can even like be proactive and say, my students learned how to be proactive and ask me,
Mm-hmm.
Nina, today I feel like I would really like to practice conditional sentences again because I feel so insecure about them, or present perfect. Or we're in the middle of the conversation and
Mm-hmm.
they are having troubles forming some more advanced structure,
Mm-hmm.
and we start talking about it right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels more natural,
Yes.
They bring the language and we just start there and work from there. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you're not working with a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
do some kind of an assessment test, have
Mm-hmm.
a look where your gaps are and focus
Yes.
on that. And there are so many places that you can go to. Same with vocabulary, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, what is it that you want to be able to speak about and understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like horses, why should you be listening to videos and talks about horse riding? If you
Yes.
don't like cooking, will you watch cooking shows? No. let's
Yes.
start let's start doing the things that you really need the language for, and learn the language for that. Find
That is
people who want
true.
to talk about that. There's so many
Yes.
discussion forums these days, Facebook groups. Now Instagram introduced threads. Yeah, so there are so many
So
places
many. Yeah.
you can go and discuss it with other people. And by using it, you will learn it. You will
Yeah.
not learn it by just sitting down doing exercises. It helps. I
Yes.
always tell people that if they do 20 minutes a week of some kind of language exercise, they are
Mm-hmm.
going to uh, intensify the learning process, and they're going to be much faster in
Mm-hmm.
their progress.
Mm-hmm.
But even without that, I learned most of my English through speaking,
Yes.
through listening, and just doing it better next time. Yes, saying it better next time. So when I see a new word, I try to use it straight away. I try
Yes.
to note it down straight away, and then it somehow starts appearing in my life. This is like magic again. Yeah. Have you ever noticed that
Yes.
when you learn a new word, and it can be like a very rare word, it starts appearing in magazines that you read, in YouTube videos you watch, and people
Completely
will
agree.
suddenly say it. Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah.
And this proves that you can attract things into your life. I'm a little bit into this law
Mhm.
of assumption, law of attraction kind of things because they work.
It
Yeah.
works actually. I was about to say when you were talking about affirmations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have this kind of belief, even by reciting and by practicing all these kind of positive affirmations, maybe you are feeling you are not going to achieve it. However, you are going to create a beautiful environment for you at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can do
Stress-free
it,
environment.
isn't it? So it works. I feel the same. Thank you so much for highlighting again, Nina. It is, it is. And
And once again, just one more thing about grammar, because you now mentioned repeating affirmations.
yeah.
I forgot to mention that, of course, grammar is best used again by repeating after
Mhm,
native speakers who say it without any mistakes. That's
mhm,
very important that
mhm,
you are repeating after people who
mhm,
have very high level of English and don't make mistakes. And
mhm.
then you can learn anything. You can learn vocabulary by shadowing, by repeating. You
Yes.
don't even have to understand exactly everything that you're saying. Actually, this is how
Mm,
I learned when I was a teenager.
mhm.
I was at an American high school, and I didn't know half of the things the people were talking about when I got there. I was just
Yes.
16 years old. I didn't know so much English, but I started repeating and just memorizing what they
Yes.
said without even really translating it in my head into my
Mhm,
language.
mhm.
I just felt it. I felt what they mean. I felt what I'm saying. And just
Yes.
by repeating and repeating over and over, eventually I
Yes.
got it right. People corrected me or said, "Oh, is that what you mean?" Ah, yeah, yeah. So I corrected myself, and here you go. You stand up again like the
Yes.
baby that is learning to walk, and you walk the walk.
Yes. Yes. And just you have to repeat it again and again, multiple times, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it will open a lot of doors towards learning process, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
It's
So
very.
many, sometimes too many people are like, oh, which way do I go now? I have so many opportunities. I can
Mhm.
do this and this and that. And they can get
Yes, it
overwhelmed. And
happens.
that's the most beautiful feeling. Yeah.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
happens.
And songs, singing songs. Yeah.
Mhm,
When you are, I always recommend the Beatles, the simple songs when you
mhm,
are at the beginning of your language learning journey, because
mhm.
they have such simple songs, or even rhymes for kids. Why not?
Yes.
When you are
Yes.
starting. And then you can go further with definitely first slow songs where you can understand and you can
Yes.
sing along easily. Yeah, so some maybe jazz songs or
Mhm.
blues songs or some nice pop
Yes.
songs. Yeah, and you can sing along. There are apps that you can sing along with and try to
Yes.
guess what they were singing. And but with that, you also learn grammar. Grammar doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
sitting down and filling out exercises and matching and true or false sentences. I got so
Yes.
bored. I got so bored at the beginning of my teaching journey that after 5 years, I just got rid of all of that and I just started really focusing on the people. There is nothing in the
Yes.
middle. There is no course book. There is
True.
them and their English and me to help.
Why not? And when it comes to, let's talk about a few greetings. For example, good morning, good evening. How have you been? How are you doing? Isn't it? So we didn't learn a grammar pattern. It just
Yeah,
because of listening to something and repeating it. We
yeah.
have to
Re-
say,
re-
our children know very well how to greet somebody in the morning, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I feel we need to follow that process, Nina.
Just see how other people do it and
Yes,
basically mirror them. That's the whole beauty of it. I don't
yes,
know why there is like such a big fuss about learning languages when it can be such a pleasant and enjoyable journey. And it
yes.
became so stressful
It is.
with our professional environments and our school environments. And I wish it was a little bit more fun and
Why
experiential.
not?
I am very much into experiential learning, learning by doing, task-based learning,
Hmm.
because it's more like real life. And, why should we sit somewhere and do things that have nothing to do with real life?
Yes, yes.
Life is
And
too
it is
short.
really so painful, Lina, when it comes to working professionals, isn't it?
Yes,
So it is
yes,
really so painful. We can't avoid, okay, we are not going to take this kind of stress, isn't
yes,
it? Because they want to thrive more, they want to flourish more. However, only because of this language, they are not getting whatever they want to achieve at their workplace. So sometimes when
yes,
I conduct my sessions, especially for working professionals, so it is really so painful. They are working
yes.
so hard and they are having this kind of setbacks in their life.
I think it has a lot to do with the working environment the person is in, because in some offices and companies, the atmosphere is very friendly. It's very
True.
open-minded,
Mm-hmm.
and you are not afraid to ask for help. I
Mm-hmm.
think a big part of the whole process
Mm-hmm.
is asking for help.
True.
Yeah, can you please help me get ready for this meeting because I feel a little bit insecure about my presentation. Would you mind going over the presentation with me?
Yes,
If
yes.
it's a nice colleague and they mean well for you, why wouldn't they help? You can invite them for lunch in
Indeed.
return.
Yes.
Yes, make it a nice social event.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own learning environment, maybe with one or two people in your company that you feel
Yes.
will support you and you will support them. And it changes everything. Yeah,
Yes.
it relaxes you and it helps you feel like you belong. Because why should you not belong just because you
Yes.
are afraid to speak up at meetings, for example, or in some presentations? It shouldn't be like that. We should all, I always say that love is the answer to everything.
Yes.
Every issue, every problem there is in the world, love is the answer. So try to engrave that in yourself, spread
Yes.
that around, and you will be amazed at the reaction. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you have a smile on your face, people will smile back. I know that, I don't live in an English speaking country. It's not even a second language.
Mm-hmm.
So the foreigners who come to the Czech Republic,
Mm-hmm.
they have a hard time with our language, yes?
Okay.
So I often talk to them, my international friends. I ask them, how is it going? How do you like your life in the Czech Republic?
Mm-hmm.
And those who are smiley people,
Mm-hmm.
who are happy people inside, although maybe they have to overcome a lot of obstacles and challenges, they still keep that positive attitude. They
Love.
love it here. They say, everybody's nice to
Mm-hmm.
me, people are so kind to me.
Yeah.
And the other way around. People who are not so well, they always complain. Nobody speaks English. No, everybody is like mean to me. It's all here. You create
Yes.
your life here.
Very true, Nina. I completely agree with you. Yes, it's like that. And one more thing that I learned from your end that I'm going to share it with my learners. That yes,
Please.
if you are
Yeah.
working professional, please invite your friends. Okay, have a lunch, dinner. Okay, and
Yes.
talk to them and they will
Yes.
help you. I really want to appreciate. I till now I never ever shared this idea, I would say, but truly I'm going to share it. Please just invite them. Enjoy the
Yes.
process.
Yes. 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 Because there's always somebody who wants to help.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You just need to get out of your shell. We are all so much inside of our heads and we
Yeah,
make so many assumptions about people and situations. I learned the hard way to
yes.
be direct and ask when I'm not sure about something.
And I think
And
it's a human propensity that we always feel very shy to take any kind of initiative.
yes, It's
It,
true. And especially for us women, yeah? Because
yeah,
we have been taught to be quiet. So no
always.
more time to be quiet. No more time to be good girls. So we can rule the world if we wanted to.
Yes, please raise your voice now.
Yes, it's time. It really is high time. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Lena, one thing I would like to know that fancy words and simple words. Now we have seen multiple and several videos on that on Instagram account, LinkedIn,
Hmm.
everywhere. Mostly, I would mention that on Instagram account, I have seen on YouTube channel as well. Uh, Many
Yeah.
creators are creating this
Yeah.
kind of reels. Try to use this one, fancy words, not simple one. So, what is
Yeah.
your take on for that?
Mm.
Please.
My take on this, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, silly kiss. Yeah. That's my philosophy when it comes to language learning. Because, fancy words might sound impressive, but I don't think they're always necessary.
Mhm,
And as long as we manage to convey the message as we
mhm,
want it, it's always better to go simple and make sure that, everything else
mhm.
works well
Yes.
instead of using fancy words, big words. Uh, People don't really speak like that most of the
Yes.
time.
Very
If you
true.
are writing an academic article,
Mhm.
if you are going to present something very serious,
Yes.
for example, at a TED conference,
Mhm,
of course, it's a good idea to
mhm.
look at some synonyms, to look at some instead of phrasal verbs, to Latin sounding words,
Mhm,
yes, like bigger words. But I'm not a big fan, just like you, of using all these big words
mhm.
because that's not how people speak really. So
Yes.
again, it depends what context you are in, yeah. So instead of these fancy terms, I prefer to be more straightforward and use the straightforward language
Yes.
and just once again listen to how people speak in movies in the street if you living in an English speaking country or if you have some foreigners around. It is so much more natural and authentic,
Yes.
and you want to sound authentic. You don't want to sound like posh. Yeah, there are
Yes.
times when to sound posh. There are times. There are not so many in our lives. Yeah,
True.
so choose wisely. Yeah.
So, Nina, please correct me if I'm wrong because I feel the same sometimes. I like to keep my whatever I speak in English, I always try to keep it very simple because personally, what I feel in that particular case, I will be able to make a connection with anybody.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Maybe
That's
if I use this kind of, yeah, this kind of idiomatic expressions and more phrasal, advanced phrasal verb, maybe I won't be able to make a beautiful connection with my learners.
it.
Many.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. I didn't think of that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
It is there, yeah. I always want because I have seen whenever sometimes when I go through any kind of Instagram reels and all. So whenever I see, okay, don't use this, try this. I don't like. You can say like this, okay, if you want to be advanced one,
Yeah,
you want specifically advance your word power, go for it, but
you
please
will
don't.
get there. Exactly, you will get there.
Okay, don't say very, go with this term, but
Yeah,
you have to identify what is your goal. If really this is your goal, personal goal, you want to achieve that level, go for it. However,
that's it.
before it, try to make your speech very simple. Learn simple English first, I feel.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, so we agree on that one, yeah?
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate. And please, Nina, what is your message for English learners? Tell me. And after that, we will wind up this session.
My
Nina.
message for language learners of
Yes.
English. Well, first of all, I want to say you're amazing. Learning a new language is not easy, yeah? But you are doing it. You're out there, you're trying. So I want you to pat yourself on the shoulder
Yes.
and say to yourself, hey, you're good. You are
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, and write it down. My English is great
Yes.
already as it is, and it can only get better. It can only get better. And I know you have been trying for many years. Yeah, you have been struggling sometimes because, as we spoke about in this conversation with Renu, um, it can be intimidating, and you come across some people that maybe don't treat you so well, or you
Yes.
don't treat yourself well, you feel judged and things like that. And it's a journey for many years, and it's a never ending journey. When people
Yes.
promise you that they will teach you English in 3 months, that's complete nonsense. That doesn't
Oh,
exist. Even
yes.
native speakers will tell you that they don't know everything, and no one knows everything. And I am proud to say, in my lessons with my students, I don't know. And it is the most empowering sentence a teacher can use in a
Yes.
lesson. I don't know. Shall we look into it together?
Wow.
Or can you find out for me and can you teach me?
Yes.
Magic. Yeah. So don't be afraid to see your own value, how much you already know, and how much you can spread around the world or in your little community, wherever it is, what you
Yes.
already know. And start from there, please. And
Yes.
start inspiring others with your journey, because it will make you feel so much better about yourself. And you
Yes.
know, this tip, this advice, that the best way to learn something is to teach it. Yeah. So
Yes.
try and go and teach the stuff that you just learned to a friend, to your child,
Yes.
to your partner, or just record it on your phone as if you like to your imaginary friend. You
Yes.
can have a phone diary for yourself.
Mhm.
Nobody has to ever listen to it, not even yourself, or go and journal. Yeah. Go
Yes.
and journal what you learned today, because then it will stick to your mind. And give yourself some grace, as I said. And please don't forget that you are not alone on this journey. You
Yes.
are not alone. Just like I said, reach out to people around you, reach out to your
Yes.
friends, reach out to your colleagues. Even in your family, you might be surprised when you voice
Mhm.
your need to improve your English or other
Mhm.
languages. You might be surprised how your kids, for
Yes.
example, will be impressed that you say, I want to learn something. Because when they see their mom or dad improving themselves, what does it say?
Yes.
It says that we are evolving too, just like you. Because for a kid,
Yeah.
it's very unnatural to see their parents not improving, to see their parents being stuck in one place. So you are so inspiring for your environment. You
Yes.
have no idea. So keep
True.
going and keep
Yes.
it simple.
Wow, wow,
Because
Nina,
life
thank
should be fun.
you. Thank you so much for this positive message. And I just want to highlight one more thing over here. Please, please, please. I can relate with everyone's life. Uh, you might feel demotivated during this journey, but don't stop yourself. Take a
Yeah.
pause,
Yes.
take a pause, be chill, calm, composed, restart again. It's very normal to feel
Yes.
demotivated in between. It's very normal. It happens with everybody. So take a pause, restart again.
Yeah. And
That's how it.
usually we need the pause. I
Yeah.
see after a summer holiday or a Christmas break, when people come back to my
Yeah.
lessons and they haven't had English lessons for a couple of weeks, they
Yes.
speak better. When the
Yeah.
when the break is longer, No, but
No.
when the break is just a couple of weeks, they speak
Yes.
better because the information also has to settle. Just like
Yes.
when you are learning anything else,
Yeah.
you cannot just learn everything and then immediately start using it. You know that it doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. So breaks are, just like you said, breaks are great. You need to recharge. You need to take a breath.
Yes.
Yeah, just give yourself some time to relax and actually enjoy what you have learned
Yeah.
already.
True.
And once again, you will be learning more even then, even without knowing.
Yes.
I think when you learn unconsciously,
Mhm.
it's the best way to learn because it's organic
Yeah.
and it's just like life, not the course book.
Yes, it's more natural. It's not like that you have to go with a lesson, read everything, write everything, learn everything, and then speak. It's not. That just
Exactly.
be natural. And
Exactly.
that's it. Okay, so I want to mention again, Nina, I thoroughly enjoyed your companionship, your smile, your
Same.
positivity, your information, everything, Nina. Thank you so much.
Same. Same. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm so happy to share with your crowd. And I hope I can share this conversation because with my community as well, because you said some very interesting things. And also, it is very important for other teachers to see that we come across the same issues anywhere in the
Yes,
world. Yeah,
true.
just like a person in Brazil, a person in India, a person in the Czech Republic, same
Yeah,
thing everywhere, yeah?
true.